sometimes you get comments on your videos. And first of all, thank you. But sometimes you have to respond to them. And I'll be right back to do that. Hey, Halifax, Brenda K here with the Halifax Home Selling Group. And the sweet Miss Frankie that's here with me every week. Thank you so much, by the way, for tuning into my videos. If you enjoy them, please hit subscribe and you'll get a new one in your inbox every Thursday. So I put out a video and I used the term perfect storm, that the government had kind of created a perfect storm. And I got a comment back from a gentleman that, man, it went right through me. It really did, because he said the high prices that were going on in the market were the fault of the realtors, And first of all, I have I have 3 adult children, but I had 2 adult children in that frenzy that were trading real estate, right? So, I mean, I would not treat any client of mine different than I would treat the 2 sons I did last year. So here was the points I made in the video, and I welcome your comments on this. So in November 2019, we knew as realtors, we were going into a seller's market. So what does that mean? That means inventory is going down. I've been doing this 16 years. The closest we came a bit of a seller's market in 2012 when the ship contract was announced. And at that point, homes were going in competing bids, they're going $5,000 over. That was the seller's market in Halifax. So in 2000, like I said, November 2019, we saw it coming. And then we started to hear stories of this pandemic that was going on. And I remember at the time still thinking, is it really going to hit us? Is it going to be like SARS? How bad was this going to be? So we go into 2020, as we all know, and we go into a terrible lockdown. And at that point, our interest rate was about 3.75. And great interest rate, an absolutely great interest rate. So here we have on the curve of home economics, which I was accused of not understanding either. And I do think I understand the curve of supply and demand. So what happened was our supply went down and demand started creeping up. In 2020, the first few months, nobody knew what was going to happen. Everybody was, realtors everywhere. We were like, oh my God, what's going to happen? Are people going to, still be trading real estate? And here's something that people don't realize is, there's a fellow named Abraham Maslow, and he did man's hierarchy of needs. And, man has 5 basic needs, and that's air, water, shelter, food, and reproduction. So yes, 2020, it was still a busy year in real estate because the inventory started dropping. And then in 2021, with low inventories, the government started to lower the interest rate. So now we had lower interest rates, we had low supply, and our demand not only went up from our local market, but we had this huge migration into Nova Scotia, which, was great to have all these people come down, just because we love Nova Scotia. But the thing about it is yes, the demand drove up the values again. Then we go into 2022. So now we've got, and this is going all across the country, we have low supply, we have high demand, and the government lowers interest rate again in February 2022. Let's go to 1.89. Well, then the market became, people were trading houses up because money was so cheap. And here's the thing that people really didn't see is that those are now unicorns. We will never see those again, okay? So, but let's get back to the comment that the gentleman made that it was the realtor's fault, okay? The realtors didn't lower the interest rate. The realtors couldn't control COVID. The realtors could not control the low supply and the high demand. And what it is really hard on us as realtors, because when we're going into the bid, we don't know. Like we had, homes prior to the pandemic, say in Eastern Passage that were selling, 3-bedroom split entry, with one of the smaller ones, the 3 bedrooms on the basement, and they would sell for maybe, $269-ish, pre-pandemic. And in the pandemic, they're going for $400. They've got 18 and 20 offers. We're trying to do what's best for our client, and we're bidding blind, and our client saying to us, I want that damn house. Yeah. And they're looking at the interest rate, and they're saying, Christ, at this interest rate, yeah, I can pay that much. So I guess there's my question. How were the realtors responsible for this, and how do you think it could change? Do you think we should go to open bidding? Myself as a realtor, I love the concept of open bidding because it's like an auction. Everybody knows where everybody's at. And what I was finding with the pandemic is because I'm a big listing agent, and I would get, 4 or 5 offers in this price range, and I'd get 4 or 5 offers in this price range, and then I'd get 1 or 2 in it, like up here, And yes, sometimes they were interior buyers. Again, as the realtor, we can't control that. So I'm not. It's funny, I understand basic economics. That comment that it was our fault, really struck a chord with me. And the government, like I said in that video, created a perfect storm. And why do I say it's a perfect storm? Because, hey, now it's like, look what we did. Inflation has gone up. Everybody was spending. Interest rates were low. Let's buy. And that's what people were doing. And not just real estate. And like I said, I'm not an economist, but I do know the basic facts of what I saw happen across Canada, the real estate market. And now let's just jack them right back up again. So do you really think there was any need for the government to drop the interest rates as low as they did? I honestly don't. And now you're going to have people that are at 1.8 or 1.89, carry a $500,000 or $600,000 mortgage that are going to jump back up to 5+, maybe just under 4, and their payments are going to balloon anywhere from $400 upwards of $600 a month, depending on what you purchase at that time. So I'd really like your opinion on this. I don't consider it my fault. I embrace open bidding so that we know, because our job is always to protect our client. Do you think the government created a perfect storm? Do you think the government, it's kind of like they threw something at us and then they said, oh my Jesus, look what we caused inflation, let's pull it all back. And who's paying the price? We as Canadians right now, we're all paying the price with it. So that's my thoughts on those comments, because what we do, and I'm speaking for myself, what my mission statement is? I'm not a salesman. My team of women, dynamic women, I must say, our mission statement is to, we are client service professionals. We offer superior service, and we excel at trading real estate on your behalf. It's a win-win for our clients, or it's no deal. And that's how we operate our business. So for one guy to point a finger at me as a realtor, say everything that happened in the past 3 pandemic years that affected or caused the prices to go up was my fault. I don't agree with them. And I welcome your comments. I welcome your comments on what you think, just with what the government's doing now, raising them and putting them back up. We're not going to see those again. People are saying to me, I think, oh wait, they have gone the way of the unicorn. We will never see those low interest rates again in Canada. It took from 1992 to 2009 to hit 4.99 to go to 5. So what we have to do is say, this is the new norm. This is where they're at. Right now, you can get a mortgage at 4.84%. Will I see it? I shouldn't say, will I see it? Do I think they may come down a little bit? I think they may. What's going to happen when people wait? Are their home prices going to increase? Well, they probably will. Halifax is not Toronto. And I'm going to do another video next on when they say average prices have dropped. So I really, really encourage you to click the next video here in this sequence, because it's really going to show you something. I want you to remember that when they're on the news and they're seeing prices are dropping and this is happening, this happened, that's Toronto, not Halifax. And you know what? I'm a damn good realtor and I really care about my clients. And you know what? The supply and the demand and the high prices and the COVID and the low interest rate and all of it, it wasn't my fault. It wasn't any realtor's fault. It's just how the world went for 3 years. And we have to move past it now. And we have to say, this is the new norm. Let's move forward. I'm Brenda K. That's my thoughts on those comments. So this is the sweet Miss Frankie, and we'll see you next Thursday. Cheers.